Okay, so I'm here. We're back home. It's Saturday, 8:24. I probably got home probably around 4 hours ago or so, something like that. You got the laundry going in the background, and this is me back in Orlando, Florida. Back at the house. We're in the kitchen right now. And this is the last update video. So I'm gonna pick up where I left off. I believe I was talking about Wednesday, um, and so yeah. So Thursday was the last day that we had to go on campus, and most of our team, we were going to be doing like follow-up meetings with students that we met with. Um, Students that we met on campus earlier in the week from Monday through Wednesday. I was hoping to meet with a guy named Ian, another guy Adrian, and a guy named Steven. And so like we went out in pairs based on like what times we had meetings with students. And so uh, Jeffrey, Jaden, and I, we went out because she had a meeting um, with a girl named Clara, and so we go to this like coffee spot on campus. It looks so cool. And we're sitting out there on the benches, and while we're like waiting, we're just there in prayer. So Thursday morning was a lot of prayer for other people's meetings, the meetings that were about to happen, some of like the anxieties, insecurities, and like doubts that people had about the day and about the meetings to come. And for those people that would be in the meetings and the people on our team and on IUP staff that would get to meet with them. So I think I probably talked about how Jillian got to pray with a girl for salvation on Thursday morning at 8 a.m. She and Claire, who is the staff, one of the staff leaders, like pioneers in Puerto Rico for the navigators at IUP in San Juan. They got to meet with Adriana, and their conversation started out a little bit awkward because she's shy, but it ended up being like really good, and they're hoping to get to meet with her again. So they got to like follow up with her after she like received Christ. I was so excited to like find more like Christian community who like it really touched like my heart that she said like people like you guys, that she would see like someone could see Jesus in us, you know. And so hopefully she gets connected at IUP, and if I'll try my best to like update on that information as I get updated on things that are happening there still. So that meeting went really well. They're hoping to meet again like next week, and yeah, that was good. Also, then as we're waiting, the girl Clara that Jaden was gonna meet with, she had arrived at the coffee shop, so we're still, staying there because we have to stay in groups of at least two at all times on campus. So we were waiting for Claire to get from her meeting with Jillian or somewhere else where she was meeting with somebody. Because shout out to Claire, she was working and laboring like crazy, and being in so many places at once. So once she came to be with Jaden for her meeting with Clara, and Clara brought her friend with her, then me and Jeffrey went to go meet with Jillian by like her class, which is also the same department that Ian, who we were hoping to meet with, was from. We waited, and while we were waiting, we talked a bit about like the week and what are some of the takeaways so far, and how like Jillian would be like encouraged by like us like coming alongside their ministry to like empower like students like her, and also like praying for Amelia to come and for Ian. And Ian didn't end up showing up, but we got to talk briefly with her friends, Alondra and other guy, don't even know. I forget his name, but Jeffrey said it might have been Yasiel, so we're gonna go with Yasiel for now. And he had taught us the phrase cuídate or cuídate. I don't know like how the enunciation for that is supposed to be, but it basically means like take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like saying goodbye to somebody, dap them up, cuídate, bro. Like take care of yourself. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so then after that, we were like, okay, so we didn't get to meet with them. We're gonna go and try to have conversations. But that led up to like waiting for Ian. If he was there, we were gonna skip lunch. And since he wasn't there, we started walking on our way to lunch across campus to get to Menenderos, where we were gonna have lunch with like the rest of the team basically. And on our way there, Steven, we ran into Steven, who I was hoping to meet with. He had texted me telling me that he wasn't going to have class that day on Thursday, but he was still going to be like able to come to campus. And I'm like, he said, I'll come to campus, we can hang if you would like. I didn't think he was serious. I was hoping he was, but I didn't even check my phone to see that he had like responded when I said like, yeah, you can come. Just like, let me know, like we're here now. And so we ran into him randomly on our way to, not randomly, God don't let no coincidences happen. Come on now. But yeah, so meeting him, and on our way there was like God's sovereignty that Ian wouldn't show up so that we would run into Steven on his way to go meet with Coralice, who Jaden was meeting with next. She got to talk with her for a bit. And so then we invited Steven to join us for lunch and asked if he would ask Coralice if she would like to come too. And so they came to lunch. Jaden continued her conversation with Coralice and got to get really deep with her and share like where she was at in her faith. And there was a lot of parallels and similarities. Well, not parallels, like a lot of like overlap with their stories and where they were at with God. And she was able to be like that space like for her in a like only God could orchestrate type way. As like Jaden was like telling us more about it. And like, yeah, God is so good. Then I got to like talk more with Steven. Over there, we saw Ian, who we read, or like Luke and I got to sit with as he was going over a book that Luke is reading with him. That basically talks about how like our key values as humans do not function without Jesus. And so he works at Menenderos, and so like he got to serve us, and that was like great having like that like reconnection there, you know, the vibes. Just love people. Love that guy. He's cool. He's a cool guy. And just like me, he needs Jesus. So yeah, so then after lunch, we were there for a while because I was sitting with Steven and we were talking. And so at the end, we went with whoever was there. So Samir, I think it's Samir and Ramsey Elise, they had came to get like, they were coming to get food. And so they ran into us at the Menenderos. And so Samir, she is one of the students who is part of the navigators at IUP. And so she had went out with us like before. And so since she had time, she came with me and Jaden, as we actually, yeah, um, me and Jaden. So it was like Jaden, me, and Samir. We went out to talk to one more person for our time on campus, and we got to talk to a girl named Lisa, and she is a graduate studying, I don't know, I think like biotech or something like. I could be so wrong, but she was a believer, and I think like the three circles was like reaffirming to like why she believes what she believes and why she is saved, and like what that results in. What does it mean for her life that Jesus would be her Savior, that Jesus would be the Lord and King of her life, and that she would believe that He indeed was raised by God from the dead. What does that do for her in relationship with other people who are living in the brokenness? And so she had gotten the contact for IUP navigators, and might end up looking into it in the near future, see what happens. But yeah, that was the last person we got to talk to on campus. And then afterwards, we went back to the Airbnb after having like a quick debrief at the end. Then from there, we got, did we get gas? No, we didn't. So we go back to the Airbnb. I took a nap in the car. Guys, most of the days I took naps in the car on the way back because your boy's tired. You know what I'm saying? But, so we got back to the Airbnb, chilled for a little bit, and then went to Echo Park, Echo Sports Park, for the Navigators volleyball event that we were hosting with, well, that IUP was hosting, and we were like helping them with that. You know what I'm saying? Like being a relational presence, trying to build bridges between students and staff / students in the Navigators at IUP. And so we had like a really good turnout, I'd say, in my personal opinion. John, who was met by Jordan Powery, who is a navigator from Florida, one of my friends who went 2 years ago and last year to Puerto Rico to do exactly what we did, and was like planting seeds back then that are like showing fruit now, that he would still be in contact with the navigators and still be like involved, and God is so good in using our lives to do that. So I got to meet him, who was a testimony of Jordan's. We had a girl Amaya come, a girl Samara show up. Amaya was somebody who was talking about how much she like needed community, and some people from the Iowa Navs, they had gotten to meet her and kind of like point her in the direction of that community, and the Navigators. So hopefully the Lord would bless that relationship between them, and the Navigators would be a community for her. It was also, I'm blanking. There was a couple other girls who had came through some of the invites. The guys that I had invited to come, they couldn't come. Steven, he wanted to come, and he almost skipped work, but I told him that he needs to go to work, because like, that was like, you already committed to that, you know what I'm saying? You can't just skip work because you're gonna go play volleyball, like. But it turns out that like nobody was at work that day, because he texted me afterwards like it was dead, nobody came in, like I literally could have been there. But so he wasn't able to come, which is sad, but like at the same time, like hopefully he's hungry for the next time that he has the opportunity to do something like that, to like make the space to go. So Yeah, praise God. So volleyball went really well. Bro, I was out there playing. I was definitely like, I don't know. I'm gonna try to make like the pictures and videos and stuff of things that happened to like send out so you guys can see like more of like what happened while we were in Puerto Rico. Anyways, after volleyball, then we went to Plaza de Americanas with all the students at IUP who are in the industry and people that we met from the week who did come to volleyball, staff, and then both the teams. So the Florida team that I was a part of, and the Iowa team as well, who came from Iowa region to share the gospel. We got to eat pretty much whatever. I don't know, it was some type of Asian food. I don't know the region, I'm not gonna lie, but it was so good. So good. Talked with John, Lucas' son. Hoping that see that he would just be encouraged to be like us to the extent that we are like Jesus. That he would see that like youth would give up their summers, give up their lives to pursue God, pursue Christ, and make His name known. So that was like my hope with that. My hope with, well, yeah, I guess, but also like kids are cool, right? Kids are funny. Yeah. After Plaza de Americanos, we went back to the house. We played some Nerds. There was like a movie on or whatever. I think it was Wednesday when we actually made kebabs. The boys made kebabs. You know what I'm saying? And then Nisi made the rice. So shout out to Nisi. I'm not gonna disclude that. You know what I'm saying? We also played Bodies. We played Bodies. So it's basically like Murder in the Dark, Mafia, Among Us in real life. So we played that until we got like a noise complaint that we think was from the night before. Because also on Wednesday we did karaoke for a bit, and then so then after that we got ready to go to bed, wake up the next morning really early, so we could do our debrief. So Friday in the morning, we have our breakfast, yada, yada, yada. And then we do our debrief of the week. And we started at around like 8:15, I want to say. But we went for like 3 hours because we also did our Bible study that we've been doing this week, of like the 4 contributions, like the different roles that someone has in a community that is like basically the building of a church, a body of people who are worshiping and glorifying and serving, trying to obey God together, basically, right? You have the pioneers, the people who are starting and planting the community, giving them like the basis of their faith so that they have a guidelines on how they should relate to one another. Example, Paul, with like a lot of the church planting. Then you have local laborers, so people who live in that context. So like the native people there, like the people who grew up in that town and know all the people there, just like, I don't know, maybe they work at the market, but like they are trying to share the good news, be lights in the world, be an example of Christ's love wherever they go. Helping other people to do the same thing. Then you have the local leaders who are like heading or like dedicated to the building up of the community and making space for intentional growth of the body of believers. Then you have the mobile alongsiders. Okay, so local leader example, I guess you could say like Timothy during the period of time that he was leading like and preaching at a church. it was for an extended period of time, and he was like leading that church. Local leader example. Shout out to, I'm blanking on his name, but I'm blanking, but hopefully you know the gist. Mobile alongsiders, people who go with encouragement to church bodies, equipping them and lifting them up in the midst of their suffering so that they can continue to strive to be like Christ, so they can continue to persevere in their suffering and be reminded of who like God is calling them to be, and encouraged to be a blessing to those around them. Example, like Paul in revisiting the churches that he's like planted, or sending like Timothy would be an example, or Zephilus. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but those are the people who are coming to mind as I'm like thinking about this. So yeah, so mobile alongsider, we going to Puerto Rico in that context from like just a vague, basic point of view, we would be mobile alongsiders, going to Puerto Rico and trying to encourage the ministry that is there, so that they would be empowered and realize that they that they aren't alone, and that we would give them like some tools and experiences to like reaffirm their belief that like they can do all things through Christ who strengthens them, to go out and be bold examples of him sharing the name of Jesus and the gospel with their peers, and also like helping to be extra bodies, building relationships to relate to like staff, because they only have so many hands. The laborers are few, guys. Pray for the harvest and the laborers to come get it. That was the Bible study we were doing. And then after the Bible study, we were giving words of encouragement to one another. Also, sharing one or two things that we learned from our time in the week. And I will be doing that in a separate video, not going to lie, because this one is pretty long. And then after that, we went to the El Yunque forest, rainforest, jungle, rainforest type vibe. We did a hike on the Badia Trail. After that, we came back. It was like an hour and a half drive there, hour and a half back. And we started going over there pretty late because we just had so much encouragement to give. Like, I ain't mad at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at it. I celebrate that. But, let's see. So then when we came back, we took a little break. We went to go fill up our gas for the rental cars. Me and Corey went with MJ and Jeffrey. Then we came back, got ready to go to Eduardo and Betsy's house, who are hosting all of the teams who came. We had like our final celebration, closure, dinner, dessert, and debrief, final debrief as a whole collective time, which was really nice. And then I also learned how to play cards, how to play briscas. Las briscas con los padres de Ricardo Jr. and Navigator de Iowa. So Ricardo from Iowa, his parents and him taught me how to play a game called Briscas, and that game was fun. That was fun. So I learned that, and then played with Jeffrey and Aaron from Iowa, and of course Ricardo and his dad, Ricardo Sr. I'll share more about that soon. Said our final goodbyes to everybody. So sad, and so like joy-filled too. After that, we went back to the house, played some nerds, and got ready to close everything down. That was Friday, last day. I'll talk more after some time, like maybe tomorrow. At some point, I'll talk about, yeah, I guess like Saturday travel day, and then my like takeaways from the trip, what I wanted going into the trip. I might like read from my journal or stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for sending me to Puerto Rico. It was so good, so good.